Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Stories of My Spiritual Awakening. In 2021 or 2022, I had an experience that completely made me rethink reality. I was driving to work and it was a Thursday morning. I was really hungover, to be honest. I was drinking a lot at the time. I was the general manager of a restaurant and I was due to be at work at 11 a.m. It was 10:50, and for me, that was early. So I feel like I have the whole world in my hands and I'm teetering on feeling like I'm going to die and that I'm going to puke and I don't feel good and I have a splitting headache, to the whole world's in my hand. I'm 10 minutes early. I'm never early. This is amazing. And I'm just like wrestling back and forth with these two feelings. And I'm driving and I go right past my work and I say, I'm just going to go for a little drive because I have a little extra time. As I'm driving, I'm starting to reflect on different things that have happened recently. I'm pretty sure the night before there had been some sort of synchronicity or coincidence that had happened that I was reflecting on. And at that time, I was having a lot of, just different experiences where I was like, that's weird. That's super synchronistic. That's a weird coincidence. Or even telepathic communication with some people in my life that just felt like it was too coincidental to keep writing off. At this point, I was agnostic. I maybe believed that there was something more, but I definitely did not believe in like God or the universe or creator or source or anything like that. I just felt like something was working behind the scenes, but I didn't really know what that was. And I didn't certainly trust it or, believe it at all. So I'm driving and I'm reflecting on these things and I'm kind of having this battle in my head, like, no, it's just a coincidence, or no, this is real, Cass. Like, this is real. This is crazy. Like, how could that, how could you have known that? Or how could this have happened? Or how many times can this happen for before you believe that something else is going on here? And I remember having the actual thought, maybe you're a little bit psychic. And then I laughed at myself and I was like, oh, that's alcohol from last night talking, like you're crazy. And as I'm having this battle with myself about if I'm psychic or not, I look up and there's a sign for a used bookstore that just catches my eye. It was bizarre because I had not been in a bookstore in 8 to 10 years, but it caught my eye and I was feeling drawn to it. And I looked down and I only have 5 minutes before I have to get to work. And I'm like, oh, I don't have time to stop. Well, I look in my rearview mirror and there's a police car following me. Now, at this point in my life, my personal life is in shambles. I'm pretty good at running a restaurant and committing myself to work and being the leader of this restaurant and running a multi-million-dollar business. But my personal life is in shambles. And my car inspection is a full year expired. In Massachusetts, you have to get it yearly, and it's a full year expired. And I'm just waiting to get pulled over. So the police car is behind me, and I'm like, oh God, maybe I should just turn into this used bookstore in order to get away from the police car so I don't get pulled over. And I mean, I do have 2 minutes. I remember thinking, I do have 2 minutes. Like, what the heck? Looking back. So I pull into the parking lot and I go into the used bookstore and I'm like, what am I doing here? I feel kind of weird. I had never done anything like this before. Now I do this stuff all the time. And I'm walking through the shelves, and in the back of the used bookstore, there's a shelf, and there's a orange book on a top shelf that's kind of sticking itself out. And I reach up for it and I pull it off the shelf. I'm like, what's this? And I pull it down and I look at it, and it's How to Be a Psychic Medium for Dummies. And I almost dropped the book. I mean, like, I didn't believe in anything, you guys. Like, I was so freaked out, but so excited, but so embarrassed that I truly didn't know what to do, but I knew I had to buy it. And I start to concoct this whole story in my head about what I'm going to tell the woman behind the counter so that she doesn't judge me for buying this book. My ego is like out of control. I've done no self-healing work at all, like I teach now. I'm just in shambles. I'm like shaking a little bit, so embarrassed. And I'm like about to say, oh, this is for my friend. She's into this kind of thing. Or this is a joke. I'm getting this as a prank for someone. And I go to the front. Of course, she doesn't ask me anything about it. She doesn't care, right? And I buy this book and I'm just shook. I go to work and I'm just like, what in the world just happened? I had just been thinking about, for the first time in my entire life, that maybe I have a little bit of psychic abilities, or there is something more to life than meets the eye. I go into a bookstore for the first time in 10 years. And the one and only book that catches my eye that I decide to get a ladder to pull off the shelf is How to Be a Psychic Medium for Dummies. That's the story for today. And that's where I started to believe in the synchronicities, the coincidences, the magic, and the telepathic communication that really ramped up after this experience.